Manga ASMR video. Today we will go through my latest manga purchases and my most recent reads. I will show you the volumes while tapping and flipping through them, and here and there I will share a little story time about each series. So let's get started. Recently I've been under a bit of stress, and one thing that helps me a lot is reading. It keeps my mind occupied just enough that I can escape reality for a while and focus completely on the story. Of course it doesn't work during a full-blown panic attack, but if you're feeling stressed and your thoughts start getting louder, I can really recommend picking up an interesting or fun book. Sometimes it's enough to keep your mind busy for a little while. So I decided to continue Starving Anonymous with the sequel. I really enjoyed the original series, so I bought the first volume of the sequel some time ago. After reading it, I liked it so much that I immediately bought the rest of the series. I finished all of them within just a few days, which is a lot for me. I'm usually a slow reader because I like to take my time, look at every panel, think about what's happening, and fully immerse myself in the story. The original series and the sequel take place hundreds, maybe even thousands of years apart, and they explore two very different approaches to harvesting humans as food. That makes both stories interesting in their own way, and you don't necessarily have to read one before the other. The sequel contains a small reference to the original series, but it's still easy to understand on its own. I can definitely recommend Starving Anonymous Revelation if you enjoy horror with aliens, ritual sacrifices, unusual societies, plenty of gore, and of course, stories where humans are harvested and eaten. is Manga Horse. I enjoyed the series so much that I saved the final volume for the right moment. After finally reading it, I have to admit that my expectations were probably a little too high, which made the ending feel slightly disappointing. I really love time travel stories, especially when the protagonist keeps trying to fix things, but accidentally makes everything worse until they finally uncover the truth. This series has a lot of that feeling, even though the ending wasn't quite as satisfying as I had hoped. I would still recommend it to anyone who enjoys time travel, murder mysteries, and psychological thrillers because the journey to the end was a lot of fun. Now let's move on to another series that's already well known on my channel, with also an unsatisfying ending. The Ichinose family's deadly sins is a mystery series about a family struggling with their memories. As the story unfolds, you never really know what's real and what isn't. Everything becomes stranger and stranger, and that's exactly what drew me into the story in the first place. With every volume, my expectation grew higher, so it's probably not surprising that the ending couldn't quite live up to them. Still, if you enjoy coming up with your own theories and don't mind interpreting the ending in your own way, I think this series is definitely worth checking out. Last but certainly not least, my current obsession, Jujutsu Kaisen. After finally finishing Season 3, which is also called the Culling Games, but sadly is not covering all of the Culling Games arc, I just couldn't wait any longer and had to continue with the manga. Luckily, the final volume had just been released, so I was able to read the entire story through to the end. I searched on Reddit which volume picks up where the anime leaves off, and I also checked the books myself just to be sure. So if you don't want to wait for the next season, you can safely continue with volume 21 of the manga. Personally, I'd recommend reading all the way to the end because the Culling Games naturally leads into the final battle. At some point, I simply couldn't stop reading. I think I finished 7 or 8 volumes in a single sitting. I wasn't feeling well that day, so I got my lounge chair ready and spent the rest of the day reading everything I had left. It didn't solve my problems, of course, but it calmed me down for sure. Now I'm already craving more Jujutsu Kaisen, so I even started looking into Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. Unfortunately, it looks like I'll have to wait for the sequel a little longer. Until then, my social media feeds are full of JJK theories and fan content, which definitely keeps me excited. As you may already know, I'm usually not the biggest shonen fan, but Jujutsu Kaisen is one series I can wholeheartedly today's manga video. If you'd like even more relaxing manga content, feel free to check out my manga ASMR playlist or browse through some of the other cozy videos on my channel. And before you leave, I'd really appreciate it if you consider leaving a like, a comment or subscribing to support my channel and help me create more cozy content for you. Thank you for watching or just listening. See you in the next video. Bye.